And I want to just bring you a bit of an update. Last week, when Joel was hosting, he told you that we were going to bring you an update this week around the reopening of services and what we're doing around that. And I'm delighted to let you know that next Sunday, the 2nd of August, that we're going to be holding an evening service here at 7 p.m. Now, I'm sure you're excited about that. I'm excited about that. But I've got a lot of things that I need to let you know this morning because, of course, even though we're excited to get back, there's so many things that are going to be different about it. And the first thing I want to do is just let you know exactly who that service is for. Now, because of social distancing, we're going to be limited as to the number of people that we can fit inside our auditorium. And so we're only going to be able to fit about 150 people into the auditorium so that we can ensure safety at that time. And we actually want to reserve that service for 3 groups of people. The first group of people that we'd love to come along to that service is if we're someone who doesn't know Jesus, where maybe we wouldn't say that we're in relationship with Jesus, but we've become curious over this season, or maybe we've been curious for years, and we would just love to see what it would like to attend a service. So we would love you to come along to that. Or maybe you're someone who's brand new to following Jesus. Maybe you gave your yes to Jesus during lockdown and you've never actually had a chance to be in a service, or it's been a long time since you've been. We would love you to come. And then finally, if you're someone who maybe's really, really struggled with lockdown, you felt isolated, you found it just difficult, and you just really need that connection again, we want to specially reserve and prioritize this service for those groups of people. Now, that means for the rest of us, now here's the thing that's good to know. We're going to continue to live stream our morning services in the same way that we're doing today. That's going to continue probably forever in some kind of level of that. So for those of us who are connected, who are doing well, who are enjoying doing it online with family, even though we would love to come along to an in-person service, we're going to ask that actually if we could continue to do what we've always done since the end of March, and then prioritize that service for those groups that I've already mentioned. Now, here's the thing. In order to ensure that service, we have the right number of people there, we do have to do a pre-registration for that. We just can't afford to have hundreds of people turn up here, and we don't want to have to turn people away. So you're going to have the chance to pre-register for that service. Dave and Lydia will give you details on how you can do that after I'm finished this little section. And so when you do register for that service and you arrive, what's going to happen is you're going to drive through the gates at the back here. Our wonderful welcome team in the car park are going to park you in a socially distanced way. You're going to come up the steps that are behind me. You can't quite see it just on this shot. And then you're going to queue along this side of the building. We're going to ask you to turn up 30 minutes early for that service, which will be new for many of us. And instead, so it starts at 7 o'clock. We want you to turn up from 6:30. And as you queue here, hopefully that won't take too long. You're going to be greeted by one of our wonderful welcome team, and you will scan, beep, beep. That's acting. The QR code, didn't Owen look wonderful, by the way? You're going to scan the QR code that you'll get when you pre-register, just in the same way you would as you're picking up your groceries at Asda or other supermarkets, not to favor Asda. And that's going to then get you into the service. Then what we'll do is you're going to follow me, and this is what's going to happen. You're going to come in through our one-way system, through our entry point here, and you'll see some of our volunteers. There, you're going to hit the sanitizing station. We're going to take some hand sanitizer, we're going to rub that in, and then we're going to ask you to wear a mask for this service. Now, if you have your own mask, of course you can bring that. We have disposable masks here if you don't have your own mask. Now, here's the thing. We know for many people that's not something we want to do. It's not natural for us to walk around wearing masks, but we think actually that this is important after listening to the advice from public health officials and also some local GPs who are part of this church. In order for us to fit the people in that we want into the auditorium, we think that this is important to love our community well and to keep people safe at this time. I'm not going to wear my mask for now because I want to be able to speak to you, but you'll be able to lift your mask and you use the hand gels here. Then you're going to come in through a one-way system. Our volunteers are going to be here waving at us. Don't they just look wonderful? Now, of course, there's going to be no hugs or handshakes just yet because we need to keep our social distance, but they'll be sending us virtual hugs from all over, and they can't wait until they're able to hug us properly, so hopefully that'll happen soon. And then we're going to come in here, and then through the one-way system, and then we'll have one of our seating stewards will meet us. This is Lydia deputizing this morning as a seating steward, and then they will point us to the section in which we need to sit. That is identified by Dave, where with his large foam finger. So then we're going to walk over to our seat. Now, what you'll have seen is that the seats have been spaced out. We want to keep those socially distant just to keep everyone safe at this time. Now, what that means is we know for some of you, you'll think, oh, can I sit maybe together with people I share a household with? And whilst that could be an option for us, what we've decided to do in order to love everyone in our community well, especially those who live in their own, who perhaps don't share a house with anyone, is that we would all sit just apart so that no one feels isolated and feels in their own section of church. So that's the decision that we've made for that. Now, it also means if you've got any kids under the age of 11, that we don't think that this is the best service for them to come along to. Why? We believe that they're valuable, and just as valuable as us adults. Having to sit apart from your family would be difficult for them within this, and maintaining social distance, and we know is a challenge for them. And as there won't be an age-specific environment for them in our Sunday evenings, we think that this isn't the best service for them. So when you come into the service, you're going to take your seat. Now, here's the thing. We will not be live streaming our evening service. We will be able to release a podcast, an audio recording of it, but it won't be live streamed. So you'll get a special service just for you, and it will be different than what we've done in our morning service. So you can listen in the morning and come in the evening. Now, here's the way that the service will work. It'll last for an hour max. And it's going to have a pretty standard kind of flow to it if you've ever been to a service before. We'll have live hosts that will welcome us. We'll have live worship led by our worship team. We'll have announcements, and then we'll have a short talk on that. We'll get the chance to do some ministry together, and then we'll be able to go outside and connect with one another. Now, worship is one of the things that people have asked about. And here's the thing. Even though we'll have a live worship team that will be singing, those of us who are sitting in these seats, we will not be able to sing. And I know we would love to sing. It's our favorite thing to sing when we do this. But actually, we believe that it's even a greater act of worship at this point, that to actually wear our masks and to not sing in order to love our community well. But here's the thing. You are going to get to do lots of other things in worship. You will be able to sit in your seat and quietly just look at the words and reflect. You'll be able to stand up and raise your hands if you're someone who does that. Strong acting from Tori there. And you're going to be able to do all of those kind of things in that we're just not going to be able to sing at that point in our service. Now, once the service is finished, at the very end, our wonderful seating steward, who's disappeared, oh no, there he is, he's going to tell us, or they're going to tell us when we can leave the service. We'll do that by sections so that we can manage the flow of people. And then we're going to begin to make our way out through the exit doors here. Now, so we're going to make our way around here. As we go around, you will see our wonderful team here. Aren't they looking lovely? Just wonderful. Give everyone a wave. This is Josh on camera. He likes to wave. And then it's good. Okay, so then as we move out, you'll see again the arrows and the one-way system on the floor that allow us to leave the building. Now, at this point, if you've been at the service and you're desperate to use the facilities, I don't know how to say that in a way that doesn't offend people, the bathrooms are going to be open. We've made some changes to our bathrooms in order to adhere to social distancing. We're not going to walk in there today just in case Trey's in powder in his nose before he speaks today. And we'll have a wonderful volunteer here who'll be able to direct us to manage numbers coming in and out of the facilities just so we can keep everyone safe. So that will be available. For the rest of us then, we will make our way outside because unfortunately we're not going to be able to gather in the foyer like we normally would or in the auditorium to connect with one another. We're not going to be able to have tea and coffee together, unfortunately, but we are working on a few surprises in the car park that will allow us to connect out there. So as we're leaving the service, we'll go to this hand sanitizing station. We'll use that again. We'll move outside, and then we'll get the chance to connect with one another. Now, I'm sure you remembered everything that I've said right now, but just in case you didn't, we're going to have lots of information on the website today, so you're going to be able to hear more about all of that. On social media this week, we'll have information that's going out about that. But I'm going to hand back to Dave and to Lydia, who are going to let us know how we can pre-register for that service next Sunday on the 2nd of August.